What is good? What is good? You double check to make sure I can be heard, and then we can start talking shit. I'd like to thank both of y'all for being here. All right, sweet. All right, alrighty. Well, I wasn't planning on doing this, um, but recently I had a few conversations which I wasn't able to actually speak on what I really wanted to say. And the thing is, with me, I when I speak about business that I know of, at least, right? I don't like, what's the word for it? I don't like anecdotal shit, right? When I look at business and why they move the way they move, I just look at what is real and what isn't, and why they make the moves behind, what they do. So recently had this conversation. My bad, bro. Shit. Phenomenal gaming. You know how it is with me, bro. I'm really bad at being a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I could speak about games. I could talk about games, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just a really bad YouTuber. There's certain days, right? There's certain days where I'm like, man, I really want to talk about this shit, right? I should really run home, you know, throw the OBS on and talk my shit, right? Never do it. You know why? Because once I get home, I'm tired, and the PlayStation beeped, and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So my bad. I should be around more, but I'll try to be. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try to be. Especially right now, because spring is my busy season at work, so it's a little rough for a motherfucker during this time of year. I barely have time to game. You know what I mean? There's so many games right now. I can't get it through it fast enough. You feel me, Viper Reeves, bro? It be like that, right? No, but the reason why I have I want to do this today is because, so I don't know if y'all heard the roundtable conversations or lack thereof as far as conversation, but I want to expand on what I was talking about, because it's like motherfuckers doesn't really understand what I was trying to say, and and ponies and bots are all the same, right? When you say something that kind of hurts. What's up, Lionel? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mesh well with how you feel about the product that you enjoy. All of a sudden, you get upset about it. But me, I don't get upset about any of it. Like, I play on the PlayStation. I enjoy PlayStation products. But if you want me to discuss the business behind it, I'm all business. And when I look at it, I don't look at it as an outsider looking in. When I speak about Sony business, I would speak about Sony business in the sense that I am a Sony exec, because how else would you speak about Sony? You know what I mean? If we're discussing their business moves, right? Which none of us really know for sure. But if we was to discuss it, we would discuss it in a matter of, all right, well, if I was, a part of Sony, in, you know, entertainment, right? And I have to make these moves. What other information am I looking at to make the moves that I make, right? And that's all it is. That's all it is to me. And the thing is, the other day when I was talking about, and exactly, Lionel, and I'm trying to get to that, right? So when we was talking about first party games, right? And I said they make no money in the grand scheme of things. When it comes to a console business, right? When it comes to a console business, the profit you rake in from first party sales, and I never said there was it's not profitable, as in they don't make money off of them. They do. But what I'm saying is it's no money. All right? It's no money to a business that deals in billions. You feel me? A business that deals in billions as far as profit. Let me ask y'all this. Y'all need to really like wrap your head around what I'm saying when I say certain things, because when I say those things, I'm saying it in a sense where we're all a bunch of execs sitting at a table. We're not just a bunch of gamers dudes just talking about gaming, because that's all fun and good, but that doesn't really get to the root cause of anything. If I'm telling you, all right, break down, right, exactly, Viper Reed, just break down how you make money off of a console. There's only a few ways, like you could count it with one hand, how many ways a console manufacturer, a console producer, right? make money off of the actual console itself. There's I think there's about 5 ways. Correct me if I'm wrong. So let's go through it, right? The first and foremost, right, is unit sales, the actual console itself, right? Unit sales, right? And the thing is, not all consoles, not all hardware sell at a net profit. A lot of times they sell at a net loss, right? But with PlayStation, the way it works with PlayStation usually is in the beginning they sell at a loss. Once they hit a certain threshold, they sell at a plus. They sell at profit. But the profit is never high. Even with the PlayStation 4, I think 4 years in, or a little bit earlier than that, 3, 4 years into the generation, that's when they reached that threshold, right? Where consoles became lucrative. Where when you buy a console, Sony actually made money off of the actual unit sale of the console. In the beginning, it's not. They actually lose money per console sold until they hit that threshold. Once they do, the profit is still not very high, right? The profit per unit, if you buy a PS4 back in the PS4 generation, right? If you buy a PS4, they make about $1 or $2. That's really how much they made off of you buying a $400 console, just like $1 or $2. Okay, what's the next form of getting paid by, just by having a console out in the wild? The second form is first party games, software, right? How much money do y'all actually think that is? As when we're looking at a business, when you're a higher up exec at Sony, at PlayStation, whatever the case, right? And you're looking at the pie graph of an entire generation. Think about that. The entire generation of the PS4. How much of that pie do you think first party game sales make up? Do you think it even hold a candle? Both software sales, first party software sales, and hardware sales, as far as the console unit is concerned, both of those, do you think the amount of money you make off of that holds a candle to microtransactions or macro transactions, just money transaction in general? Macro and micro. Do you think it hold a candle to that? Do you think it hold a candle to the 30%? And to be honest with you, it's actually not exactly 30%. Exactly, it's actually 28%. But let's just say 30% just to make, the math easy, right? 30%. 30% of all third party revenue that comes in. You get to grab 30% of that in an entire console generation. You gotta hear, you gotta hear the whole thing out. Don't, like, I hate anecdotal shit. You know what I hate? I hate when someone talk about a subject, especially business, especially when money is involved. I don't need no anecdotal shit. You know what's anecdotal shit? Well, I know this one guy and what he said. That's anecdotal. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I look at? I look at hard numbers. That's how you make business moves. I don't need to hear you tell me about some dude. I'm looking at actual numbers in front of me. What makes money for me? What doesn't? Okay. Just think about that. I never said that the money that Sony make off of first party software. I'm not saying it's not profitable in the sense where they don't come out at net positive off of the game. After the fact that you gotta pay the devs, pay the marketing for it. Just all this other shit when it comes to first party game, right? After all that is said and done, the money, the revenue that you made out of the game, you still made net profit. You still profit. But when you're looking at your profit, right, just overall through an entire generation, is that money worth talking about compared to microtransactions, compared to royalties from third party, compared to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Subscriptions. Think about that shit. Dude, when it comes to console business, the console sales and first party software sales make nothing. And that's why I said that. It makes nothing. Nothing in the grand scheme of it. When you look at a generation, all right? The entire generation of PS4. Because I wouldn't even do this if Porter Rock didn't say so. Porter Rock's like, I thought only PC and Xbox do clip people out of context and call them dumb. Porter Rock did me like that, which is dirty as fuck. I'm like, do you even know what the fuck I'm talking about, Porter Rock? because he showed me like he did a little thing where he showed the Miles Morales profit shit. I'm like, cool, that's cute. You must not know what I'm talking about then, because if you know what I'm talking about, then here's what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to take all the profit, not even revenue. I'm talking about pure profit that you made from Miles, right? And you take Horizon Forbidden West, take all the cross gen games, and you include that with all the PlayStation games, first party, all of them. You take all of their profit, you add that to a sum, right? Now, you want to play big bank and little bank with me if I just say, all right, you do that, and I'm going to take the entire generation of PS4 as far as royalties from third party. Who you think winning? Big bank, little bank. Who's taking that shit? Or I'll say, you know what? Let me just take the profit Sony made from, MTX, and we could play big bank, little bank. That's what I mean. I never said that it doesn't make no profit, as in it doesn't make money, as in they lose money off of first party. I didn't say that. But that's not even the point. Do y'all even know what the point of the whole conversation was? The point of the conversation was, why is Sony decided to go, you know, PC after a game came out after a few years, right? That's really the whole crux of the conversation. It's not about if PlayStation first party games are profitable or not. No one's questioning that. I play on PlayStation 2. Why would I downplay it like that? It don't even make sense. That's why I was saying, like, dog, get out y'all's motherfucking emotions. Like, this has nothing to do with your emotions. And if I need to explain myself, it means you never allowed me the opportunity to explain myself in the first place. Like, who the fuck said it was unprofitable? No, you gotta understand what people are saying. You know what I mean? Like, play big bank, little bank with me. You take all the profit that Sony made off of first party software, and I take all the profit of, you know, one of those three: microtransactions, royalties from third party, or subscription. What's up? Get this work? You feel me? Who winning? Who y'all think winning? To tell you the truth, I don't even know the exact numbers of that. But I just do know for sure, out of those things, first party software is definitely the least. And it's by design. There's no way it could be. How could it? I mean, realistically, Sony at best can sell about 3, 4 first party exclusive that are banger a year at best, which they haven't been, right? But at best, let's say, think about the hundreds and hundreds of third party games that come out every year. And y'all could double check me on this, but the last time I saw this report, right? And I haven't seen it for PlayStation 5, but for the PlayStation 4, the average PlayStation customer buy about 10 games a year. 8 of them is third party. 2 of them is first party. If you want to do simple math on just that alone, year over year, you would know what makes more money for Sony, right? Think about it. 8 games at $70, and you get 30% of that. 30% of $70 was that like $21, right? You get $21 per game. 8 games. About 160 something, 62, 160 something, right? 161, 62 or something like that. A little too high to be doing all that math, right? But it's like, that's 100 something, 60 something dollars. You know how much 100% of $70 is? $140. And that's not me including the cost of actually providing a game. Development, marketing, all that shit. Publishing, which includes, making sure logistics is good, that all the hard copies get sent out to where it's supposed to sent out, yada yada yada. Not even that, not just the money it takes for you to have studios. Y'all remember, like, when Thrash was saying when Microsoft was buying all these publishers, and he's like, dude, that's insane. How are you going to accommodate them? And I agree. I was like, do you know the day over day over day expenses of a business? Have y'all thought about that? Say Sony Santa Monica, right? How many motherfuckers work there? They all have a salary. They all have their benefits, medical, all that good stuff, right? And you have to pay them. You gotta consistently pay them, and some come, some go, and then also you gotta pay voice actors. You also gotta pay, um, God damn it, what are those people? Advisors, all these extra shit, right? You gotta pay on top of that. But I'm not even including that. Just the building for Sony Santa Monica exists. Electricity gotta be paid daily. Water still gotta keep running. Internet service, all this other shit, right? It never stops. You realize that it never stops because whether they've sold it, like a game has gone gold or not yet, that building still needs to stay lit. Just the cost year over year, day over day, just to have a studio. Y'all ever think about that? Now you take all that into consideration, and then you look at the amount of money you actually get, the profit you actually get from first party sales, first party software sales. And now you tell me you think that's worth it? Let me tell y'all something. If Sony could, they would go back to the PS2 generation. They would love them some PS2 generation shit. All right. You know why? Because during the PS2 generation, they barely had any studios making first party games. There was some, but some of the biggest games some of the biggest games you remember from PlayStation 1 and 2, ain't none of them motherfuckers first party. Y'all notice that? And PlayStation wish they could go back to that. Me too, actually. I wish they could go back to some shit like that. You know why we can't go back to that? Because Microsoft fucked up. Like Lionel was saying, Microsoft fucked up. They fucked up the whole game with the 360. Let me explain, okay? So this require a little bit of console history for you to understand, right? So way back when I was a young lad, right, playing on Nintendo, like Super Nintendo, um, Sega. I never had a Sega like the homies did. I just go to their crib and play. I never had a Sega. I was a Nintendo kid, right? But during that generation, right before the PS1 hit, Nintendo was very much the Sony of their day, because what game, where is Capcom going to put their games on when Super Nintendo was out? It's gonna be on Super Nintendo. Like every third party game, like Contra, all this shit was all on Nintendo. Why is that? Because when you're the big name in the game, that's just what it is, right? So, but when PS1 came out, it changed the game. It changed the game not so much in the sense that the PS1 was super powerful. It wasn't super powerful. What it could do is it could do 3D better than 2D. You know what I'm saying? It does 3D better than 2D. And the Nintendo at the time did 2D better than 3D. But it was a brave new world during that time, so people was fucking with the 3D shit. So that's why PS1 took off. It's relatively affordable, and it did something that generations before that wasn't really doing, true 3D gaming, right? But at that time, PlayStation didn't really have first party studios like that. Think about all your favorite PlayStation 1 games. Practically all of them are not first party. And then you get to PlayStation 2 generation, and it's the same thing. When I was a kid, I used to think Devil May Cry was a Sony exclusive for the longest, and I only thought that because it was just only on Sony PlayStations. You can't play Devil May Cry nowhere else. But when the 360 happened, Devil May Cry 4 went to 360 because it was never an exclusive. It was never an exclusive. What's up, Future? Yeah, man, you know how it is. What's up, Stone? But you know what I mean? So During the PS2 generation, Sony didn't really have any exclusives like that. Not, not they do. They had a couple, but it's not first party exclusive. Let me make sure I get that right. First party exclusive. Because first party wasn't a thing that they had to worry about, because at the time they were just making buku money off of just third party. You know what I'm saying? Third party royalties was the shit. They come up with a good platform, third party come in, pay them they shit, and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? And it's all good. Not until the 360 is where shit gets wild, right? Because during the PS2 generation is when the original Xbox came out. And at that time, it provided the right type of competition. You know what I mean? Games can also be played on the OG Xbox. Not only that, the OG Xbox was stronger than the PS2, which of course it would be. It came out deep into the PS2 generation already. You know what I mean? But it was enough to carve its name, like a name for itself, right? It had certain games that PlayStation just couldn't run, like Ninja Gaiden. That's why I had an Xbox in the first place. Well, let me stop lying. This is why I played Xbox on my brother's Xbox. You feel me? You know what I mean? That's why I played Ninja Gaiden on my big brother's Xbox. That's just the way it is. And then I bought my own 360. I was too young when the original Xbox to come out to have actual money like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't balling like that yet. Yet, like I'm balling now and shit. But you know what I mean? So at that time, they don't need exclusive. It was unnecessary. PS2 did its thing just off of a few first party that you probably don't even remember. You probably don't know which game is and isn't first party no more, right? It's just a blur to you at this point. If you old enough to even play on PS2, most of y'all probably not. Right? But but where the game got fucked up was during the 360 era. You don't realize this, but Microsoft actually fucked themselves with the 360. It's not about the generations after. It's actually that generation that messed Xbox up. Y'all think it's the other way around. Y'all think, oh, it didn't go bad until after 360. No, 360 is actually what made it bad. 360 is what made PlayStation a monster. It's the monster that you know right now, the PlayStation monster that y'all know now. It was caused by Xbox during the PS3 generation. So you know how I was saying third party royalties make way more money for a console manufacturer throughout the lifetime of a generation, right? Of a console compared to the profit they make from first party software sales, which is it should be, goes without saying. Like, of course, just mathematically, just think about it. How many first party game can you have through a generation? You know what I mean? How much money would it take for you to make those games? And then the profit that's, in between. Compare that to the amount of games people buy on a PlayStation. Period. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. Minus, first party games, everything they buy, of course, is third party, and PlayStation get a piece. Just, just think about that. Just mathematically, how would they not make more, right? But where they fucked up is they they did everything right except one thing. They forgot one thing, right? They came out a year earlier, so they was able to corner the market, right? Third party was able to successfully, incorporate the 360 into their template, was able to build games for it, and the 360 was actually a lot easier to build games compared to the PlayStation when the PlayStation come out a year after. But during the time, they was racking up sales. It was affordable, right? It's available, and people been dying for new hardware. So there it is, right? And third party was putting games on there, and everything was smooth. And then when the PS3 came out, it was difficult to work on. Not that it wasn't powerful; it's actually way more powerful than necessary at the time. But it's just difficult for third party to work with because the cell structure is so weird. They don't understand it. Right? They made it too powerful. They just couldn't work it out. And then sales wasn't really hitting in the beginning for PlayStation because what I'm saying. It's $600 and motherfuckers is a hard time for motherfuckers to make games, right? So that realistically sounds like it's all good for Xbox, right? They cornered the market. They was early to the game. PlayStation came out late, a year later. You know what I'm saying? Cost more, harder to work for, yada yada yada. And so what happened? Third parties start talking about, hey man, we might pull support. We might not fuck with y'all if y'all can't get shit together, PlayStation. You know what I mean? This isn't like me rambling about some wild shit like y'all never heard of, right? This is history. Y'all know this, right? If y'all been around during that generation, y'all remember, right? In the first 3, 4 years of the PlayStation, it was super doom and gloom, right? Activision was talking about, hey man, we might not put Call of Duty on y'all shit because y'all ain't doing shit right now, right? And then Sean Layden had to come through and fix this. How did Sean Layden fix it? Because Sean Layden knows the real money, right? The real money come from third party support. If you don't have third party support, you are fucked. As a console manufacturer, you think you can survive off of just first party alone? You're not contemporary Nintendo. And I say contemporary Nintendo. I didn't say Nintendo because for the longest time, Nintendo was just the same as everybody else. During the GameCube era, the 64 era, earlier than that, right? Well, not so much 64 era. Kind of 64 era, but 64 era is kind of goofy. I liked it though. I liked the 64, but it was a goofy era during that time, right? But Nintendo was the same way back in the day. They had third party support. Matter of fact, they were the kings for the longest. You know what I'm saying? For the longest. I'm saying contemporary Nintendo because that's what they're doing right now. But don't get it twisted. There's plenty of third party game on the Switch. You know what I mean? It's just they was able to capitalize on their structure, right? That's why Sick was talking about, well, on the flip side of the business model of PlayStation, where they come out with a game and then after a while they put the game on discount and then after a while it's free on PS Plus. You know what I'm saying? Well, available on PS Plus. I don't want to say free because PS Plus is not free, right? So he said that. I'm like, yeah, true, but it's a handheld. You know what I mean? It's a handheld. It's the business structure behind Nintendo works because Nintendo is the only motherfucker that could do it. Nintendo is the only motherfucker in the world that could not discount games. Period. They don't have to discount shit. They don't. And they just stop selling shit. If they don't, if they don't want to sell some shit no more, they just take it off the store. They don't give a fuck. All right? But that's how you do it. Can Sony do it? They might be able to do some shit like that. I can't call it. I don't know how well that will work. I don't know if Sony could follow that model or not, but the model for the Sony does work. And the thing is, so at that time, right, when the 360 was doing that, they cornered the market early. They had, game third party games, third party support, strong third party support, right? It was so prevalent that no matter where you go, you always see Xbox stuff, Xbox 360 shit. You never see PlayStation stuff. You see some, right? But then what turned it around? What made PlayStation what PlayStation to be today? Because PS3 era is what changed everything, right? PS3 era is when exclusive became the name of the game. Because at that time there was a lot of money at stake when it comes to third party, right? Because when you say third party, yeah, third party software sales, but you got to think beyond that when it comes to third party. We're talking about microtransactions. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a whole new ball game that 360 and PS3 was able to do that the generations before that cannot. So if you lose, third party support, small or big third party support, you lose way more additional income. You can't capitalize on microtransactions for their games because their game is not on your system, right? So it was a mess. And PlayStation, like, the fuck we gonna do? And Sheldon Layden was like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We need third party support. We need their games on our platform. And the only way at the end of the day for them to be willing to put their shit on our platform is we have enough units in the wild. That's just what it is. That's what the console business is about. That's why we even look at NPDs, at numbers of units sold. It's not when I look at units sold like that, I don't look at it to be like, ha ha, the PlayStation is selling well, fuck you Xbox. Like that's not built ingrained into me. You know what I mean? I don't have that type of like I just don't care enough about that type of shit. I play on PlayStation because I enjoy it. I wish I could enjoy Xbox, but they're just not doing a damn thing for me, so that it is what it is, right? But that's all that is. I don't, hate Xbox. That's impossible. I don't hate a company. What I would say I hate is I hate grifters. I hate motherfuckers that are not a part of the gaming industry. Well, not gaming industry, but just not really about that gaming life for real. But they just want to, grift. They just need to be a part of something so bad. You know what I'm saying? And they just come up with terrible takes. I hate that shit. I forgot what podcast that I was listening to where Sick was saying something like that. He's like, I hate y'all. Matter of fact, I feel worse than that. I loathe y'all. And he's like, you know what? Loathe is not the right word. I'm not sure what the right word is, but loathe isn't the right word because loathe sounds softer than hate. The word you was looking for, Sick, is despise. I despise you, motherfucker. I can't stand motherfuckers who aren't really about gaming and shit, but you need to have your hot takes to ruin gaming because of your fucking hot takes. And you don't even fuck with the game. You feel me? That's what I can't stand. I can like debate or discuss a game with someone all day. We don't even have to agree. We can disagree about everything. But if he played it and I played it, I can have that conversation, even if he doesn't agree with anything I have to say about the game. But there's a mutual respect in the fact that he played the game, I played the game, and we both have our opinions. And it's cool that we don't agree on those opinions. But I respect the fact that both of us play those games and have our opinions, not some bitch ass motherfucker with an anime profile talking. You know what I'm saying? So, this game's woke. Like, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Like, I don't have time for this bullshit. What the fuck are we talking about? But back to my point, right? So when that happened, Sean Lady was like, all right, so we need unit sales. That's the only way. Yeah, our system is harder to work on, but damn it, they'll find a way because we have the units out there. That's money on the table that they could be having, right? Because at the end of the day, really, units is what matters for a console manufacturer, right? Unit matter first because if I can have my PlayStation in your home, right? That's where the magic begins. It's not about you buying like if you buy a PlayStation and all you do with it. Yeah, yeah, I seen that Akuma. That shit was dope. Hey, you know what's fucked up though? You know what's fucked up about Akuma? I like what I see. The only thing that's starting to bother me is with each iteration, the raging demon move gets more ridiculous, and they made it more and more fancy. But now the more fancy it is, the less cool it is to me. Like back in the day, he would just like slide up on you, and then all of a sudden it's pitch black, complete darkness, and you could hear him beat the brakes off of you. Right? That's all you know. You can hear and see the sparks from the hits, right? And then it's just right, and then you see the 10 symbol, and it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? But now, bro, this man's hitting you with shadow clone jutsu. Like, what the fuck is going on? You feel me? Like, I felt like the Street Fighter 5 version was low key kind of a bit much already, where they showed him actually doing all the hits and stuff. I'm like, that's a bit. There's some about the mystique of not knowing. You know what I mean? The move's so crazy you shouldn't even see it. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It is so crazy. We gotta turn off the lights for this. You shouldn't even see this shit. This motherfucker is about to kill you 1,000 times. Your ass about to die 1,000 deaths. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even get to see it. You shouldn't even get to see it at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now they doing too much, bro. Now they got him. Not only do you see what's happening, you see him do shadow clone jutsu. This shit's crazy. But it's still cool. What's up, Fatal? It's still cool though. I still fucks with it. he of course he's Akuma. He's OP in every fucking game, so it's gonna be lit. I need to get on Street Fighter. It's just what's crazy. I haven't played Street Fighter in a minute, not because I don't want to. It's just, bruh, motherfucker's full as fuck, man. I can't get through these games fast enough. I don't know how the fuck Sick got done with Rise already. I'm still not done, and I promise y'all, I'm playing that bitch. I don't know how the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Fucking hell, like Stellar Blade's out. I got a little bit of hours in Stellar Blade. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't even replayed the Last of Us 2 remaster. I bought that bitch, played like an hour of it, stopped it to play something else. Like I have so much shit just sitting right now. I'm praying that I can get through all of it before Wukong hit, because it doesn't matter what I'm playing. When Wukong hit, everything stops. I've been waiting for Wukong since I was 8. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. It's a wrap for anything else. Once Wukong hit, it's a wrap. I'm putting a stop to everything else I'm doing. It's all Wukong. You know what I mean? And that motherfucker's only a few. It seems like it's far away. When we say fall, but really, man, fall ain't. The older you get, the faster time moves, man. Fall ain't shit, but a hop and a skip away, bro. It's gonna be here any minute now, and I'm like, God damn, all these games, bro. So, but goddamn, sidetracking like a motherfucker. Back to what I was saying, right? At that time, Sean Layden was like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? Well, we need consoles in homes because that's where our money is. Because selling you the console, like I mentioned, it don't really make them no money for real. They make like $1 or two, literally per unit, like $1 or two. You know what I mean? $1 or two. That's nothing. But what's valuable is it's a Trojan horse. That's what a console is, a Trojan horse. You now have this gaming machine in your home. If you are going to buy a game, you are going to buy it on this game machine, right? And when you do, I'm gonna go ahead and get that 30%. Oh, you bought one of mine. Oh, I got 100% off of that. But of course, I got to spend all kinds of money to actually provide you that game. But I still get 100% of that profit, right? So that's what I want. I want my console in your home so you could buy first party and third party game. And the chances of you buying more third party games than first party games is high because of course there's just more third party games out there, right? I want you to buy my game. I want to buy their games. I want you to subscribe to my shit. Subscribe to PS Plus, whatever tier you want to do it, just do one. And there it is. That's all the money in the world right there. If you could do all three, that would be magical. But if you can't, if you could do 2 out of 3, I would say fuck first party. Really, like as a Sony menu, like, if I was Sony and if I'm given the choice, would what would y'all do? Let me ask y'all that. If you are Sony, if you are Sony itself, not a company, the entity itself is you, Sony made flesh, right? And you're sitting here like, and motherfucker asks you what type of Sony gamer do you want, right? Do you want a motherfucker that buy your console and all they do is buy your first party game? Or do you want a motherfucker that bought your console, don't buy none of your first party games? He buy all the bullshit. He plays all the bullshit. Call of Duty, FIFA, all the bullshit, right? But he does. He buy your console. He gets the PS Plus so he can play online. He buy all them shits. Which one do you prefer? Now, Pride would say first party games, but Greed would say, hey, get the subscription and buy all them third party games, bro. That's what you would say. That's what greed would say, okay? That's where the money really is. Because realistically, at best, you're doing 3, maybe 4 at best first party games, you know, triple A games, like at best 3, 4 games a year. The Call of Duty comes out practically every year. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty come out every year, and motherfuckers buy them. And every year they re-up on that PS Plus shit. You feel me? That's crazy money. You feel me? You don't make money off of first party games. That's not what you go into console business for. The only motherfucker that can make that happen is contemporary fucking Nintendo. All right? Modern day Nintendo can do that. They the only motherfuckers that can do that. But anyways, so, Sean Layden was like, "All right, bet." So the only way we can get the only way we can get people to keep making sure that third parties stay on our device is that if we have enough enough of a player base, enough of units out there in the wild to where we can go back to these third party motherfuckers and be like, hey, look, we ain't doing as well as PS2 era, but we got a little 40, 50 million motherfuckers out there right now. You telling me you ain't gonna put Call of Duty on my shit and lose out on 40, 50 million worth of motherfuckers? Call of Duty, and Activision was like, yeah, facts, true, true. So we'll still make games for y'all, but 360 get all the leverage, to get all the love, right? DLC first, expansions first, games even come out for them first, all this extra shit, right? But at least Sony was safe on the fact that okay, at least third party is still coming. Maybe later, maybe won't look as good, won't play as good, but they still coming. Revenue is still coming in. But that's why first party games became important in the first place. Sean Layden is like, look, the only way we can make this happen is our team are the people that know how to work with these fucking the way the PS3 is set up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up with these banger ass first party games where no one else has it except us. So yes, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 is difficult for a third party to work on, but our shit is the shit. So when a gamer wants to buy a system, they're gonna be like, God damn, Uncharted. You know what I'm saying? Ah, damn, God of War 3. Ah, damn, like, you know what I mean? The Last of Us. People keep forgetting The Last of Us didn't come out on PS4. It came out on PS3. I played it on PS3. I didn't play it on a PS4. But that's where shit start to become the PlayStation that you know today, right? PlayStation was able to do that. It was able to make motherfuckers say, "Yeah, but I want to play these though, right? I want to play these third parties everywhere, but these are here though. I gotta play these though, right?" That's where it came from. That's the purpose of first party. It's not for profit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's no profit in there. There is for PlayStation and Nintendo. Not so much for Xbox, but you know how the game goes with them already, right? It's not about them. You know what I'm saying? It's not about them. It's about looking at the money that's coming in and making sense out of it. You feel me? So when these first party games was being made, they're not made for profit. Oh, yes, of course you would want to profit off of them, but the primary goal is not for profit. The primary goal for first party games, right, is to leverage power, leverage strength for your platform, for your name, for your brand, all of that stuff. Right? To this day, that's what y'all think of. When I say Sony, y'all like God of War, motherfucker, Last of Us, you know what I'm saying? Ghost, like that's what y'all do because that's what they was able to do. They was able to build value with these type of games, but profiting off of them isn't really the main, you know what I'm saying? Isn't really the main thing. It's it's Thrash in the chat. How come I can't see him? Did I block this motherfucker? I know I didn't. What the fuck? I never blocked nobody. I'm not even on my own fucking channel. How come I can't see what Thrash is saying? What the fuck is going on? Oh, that's so weird. Hey, you know what's weird, Thrash? I could see what you were saying on OBS, but I can't see what you were saying on YouTube. That's crazy. I don't know how that happened, but nothing Thrash said has appeared on YouTube. Well, he ain't say shit yet, except for yeah, I'm live. I'm live because I need to explain a few things. I don't think motherfuckers understood like what I was saying, and they thought I was like downplaying the success of first party games and shit. I am not downplaying the success of first party game. I myself am a Pegasus. Why would I downplay my favorite platform? Like, what the fuck? Do y'all not understand? Like, you know what I mean? I never said it's not profitable. What I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of a console business, all right, like make sure that fucking marinate into your brain. Hey, how do I undo that? I don't even know how to do that. Like, why is thrash shit not appearing on the YouTube side of shit? Motherfucker, I don't even know how to block motherfuckers on YouTube. Are you crazy? What the fuck you mean? I'm the least technical Asian motherfuckers y'all ever seen in your life. What the fuck are you talking about? I still got the background image of my last podcast from months ago up. What the fuck are y'all? No, but what I'm saying is, in the overall scheme of console business, no one come into the console business trying to profit off of first party. That's not the move. All right. Like ancient history, right? Ancient history back in the day when it's PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, even further back than that, Super Nintendo, Sega, all that shit. None of them also was going like getting into the game to profit off of their first party shit. Most of them don't even have a lot of first party shit besides from Nintendo back in the day. All their money came from third party. To this day, ain't shit changed. Yes, to this day, there's more first party content. But do you really think the amount of money Sony makes off of first party software is more than a drop in the bucket compared to everything else, compared to microtransactions, compared to third party fucking, you know what I'm saying? Compared to third party fucking royalties, compared to subscriptions? Is you crazy? It's the least amount of money you make is off of your first party like software. I'm not saying that it's not profitable, as in you don't make a net profit from them, but it's no money. All right, it is. It's no money. What's a couple hundred million compared to a company that counts their profit in billions with a B? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about, huh? That little profit you made off of Miles Morales, you think that's cute? All right. You could take all the money of first party sales and add it all up together for PlayStation 4, and then you add all the cross gen games to it and still add it to the PS4 era, right? That generation, take all that profit from first party software sales, and we can play big bank, little bank, and I could pick from one of the other three, right? Any one of the other three would crush that shit. Fucking third party rev, you know what I'm saying? Third party fucking rev to fucking microtransaction. Microtransaction is the worst too. It's actually the most money they make off of microtransaction, which is nuts. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts. But yeah, that's what happened during the PS3 era. That PS3 era, PS3 360 is what makes this generation the way it is. It's what made the generation before it what it is. PS4 and PS5 exist because of PS3 the way it is. You know what I mean? The way it is, right? The reason why PS3 was able to actually come out of that generation looking spiffy, right? Looking good, even though the first 3 to 4 years was a fucking nightmare, right? Was thanks to Sean Layden going, all right, well, we need to put consoles out there in the wild, so we gotta make a couple moves. First thing is we gotta figure out ways to make it cheaper, and it got cheaper. And then we got to give people reasons to own our console. Why is it important? So they did that, Uncharted 2, yeah, not 2. Was it? Is it? I'm out here tripping, but one of the Uncharted's, you know what I'm saying, Last of Us, all this crazy shit start coming out, right? At the second half of PlayStation there, PlayStation 3, right? And it was nuts. Bam, bam, bam. It was crazy. And then it leads towards the PlayStation 4. And when it leads towards the PlayStation 4, what did people expect? Oh, Sony's about to come with them bangers, them first party bangers. Out of nowhere, people just expected that shit. And they did. And they did. You know what I'm saying? And they did. That's exactly what happened when PS4 hit. Right, the first year or so was kind of dry, and then that's when they really push in. They was like Horizon, God of War, you know what I'm saying? All this shit they start hitting y'all over the head with, and y'all like, oh, it's just crazy. This is what Sony do. They just have crazy first party, motherfucker. That was just a generation in, a generation and a half ago. What first party? The fuck are y'all talking about? And most of their money never came from that. Most of the console manufacturers, most of their money never came from that. It never came from first party software. All right. That's why I said it's no money. What's a couple hundred million compared to billions upon billions? Not only is it billions upon billions, it's it's hands free billions upon billions. All I have to do is just make sure I have a PlayStation 5 in your home. That's what I have to do. It's not about the profiting off of the unit of the PlayStation 5. I need that Trojan horse to be in your crib. I need you to have my system because my system is a marketplace. It's not just a gaming device, it's a marketplace. Everything you buy off of this PlayStation, I get a piece of. That's what I want. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? That's all I fucking want is for my PlayStation to be in your crib. So when you see a game, whether it's first party, third party, wherever the fuck it is, you're like, is it on a PlayStation? Let me go check. Oh shit, it's on a PlayStation. I'ma cop it. And whatever that amount was, you know what I'm saying? If you bought it for $70, I just got $21. That's the business. It's kind of like a dealership. You ever bought a brand new car before? Have you ever bought a brand new car, like if you buy like a Chevy from a Chevy dealership, let me tell you this, they ain't make no money off of your ass. If you bought a brand new car from a Chevy dealership, you know what dealerships like that make money off of? They don't make money off of selling you a brand new car. A lot of times they lose money selling you a brand new car. The money they make is from services, your service plans. When you come through to do oil change, they can sell you all this other shit, right? And what's deadlier than that, what's crazier than that, I know this because I used to be a car salesman way back in the day, right? And I learned the industry and it's just wild. Really, a car salesman like myself back in the day, I don't want to sell a new car. I don't make no motherfucking money. You know what I make money off of as a car salesman? Used cars. I make boatloads of money off used cars. The profit for used cars is stupid. It's insane. When you sell a new car, it comes with MSRP. Manufacturers, you know what I'm saying? It's already has a guideline of how much you could charge, right? Roughly. And then, customers have certain discounts they can get, certain moves they make that, you know what I mean? This is a lot of shit, like what kind of advertising they're trying to do at the time and all this other shit, right? And then the customer come in and they buy it way below MSRP. Which one of y'all ever bought a car at MSRP? Never, right? Always lower. You always try to get a better deal, right? And you always leave there better. Usually, unless you're an idiot and you left there paying more than MSRP, you out of your goddamn mind, right? But you leave out of there buying that car. That dealership didn't make no money. That dealership is not Chevy. That's a Chevy dealership. They sell Chevy. They are not Chevy. But let me tell you where the dealership make money. The dealership and the salesperson, right? Used cars, boatloads of money. How? Well, let's say this, right? I used to work at a uh, Infinity dealership, right? And a lot of people at Infinity dealership, Infinity is like that almost high end luxury car. Like it's not Lexus level, right? It's just a step below Lexus. Like at every corner of the game, right? It's just right below Lexus. So it's usually the whip motherfuckers would cop once they get up, once they step up in the game a little bit. They go from a Honda Accord to a little, Infinity, right? But the thing is, every dealership will bust your head on your trade-in. It's just the way the game goes, right? And sometimes they're fucking you over, but you're good with the negotiation. So you're like, all right, fuck it, that's what it is. I'm good with just the numbers at the end of the day. My monthly payment, yada yada yada. It all checks out. I'm good. I know you fucking me over with my trade-in, but it is what it is, right? Your car's probably worth 17. I offer your ass 11 for it. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn, I can sell this shit for 18, 19 on the street. All right, go do it. Take your ass 3, 4 months. You want to deal with that? Random motherfucker show up at your crib to drive your car around and not buy it and shit. You want to deal with that? Or you just hand it over to us for $11,000. You buy this car, drive it off now, feel happy about your shit. We'll take care of this shit for you. And we do. We take that $11,000 car that we just paid for, spend another 11, spend another 1, 2, maybe $3,000 for it, and then we put it back on the lot for $24,000. And then the motherfucker come in, talk us down to 22, and you think you got a hell of a deal. And we just made roughly 10 grand off of that. And I get a cut off of that 10 grand. You feel me? It's not about my emotions. It's about, or your emotions. It's about money. It's about business. And when I look at it, I'm like, dude, the money that PlayStation make off of first party software is minimal. It's negligible. It doesn't really do much for the entire, you know, Sony division, PlayStation division, let alone Sony. Just PlayStation alone, first party software really doesn't move the needle like that. Not compared to all the other avenues of, income they get. That's what I was trying to say. That's how Sean Layden was able to change the game. That's why Xbox fucked themselves over with the 360. You think 360 is when this the generation they want? No, it's the generation where it actually caused Xbox to lose. Because what happened after that? What happened after that is Sony stuck true to what y'all think Sony is. Motherfuckers that deliver banger ass first party. So motherfuckers have the confidence in saying, you know what? Third parties everywhere, but you can only play PlayStation shit on a PlayStation. So it's PlayStation 4 for me. And that's why PlayStation 4 took off. Because there's no way motherfuckers not gonna play, Horizon, God of War, Ghosts, all that shit, right? Even Days Gone. Days Gone wasn't the best game ever, but that shit's to me it was nice, right? It did open world game with a bite well, with zombies. You know what I'm saying? Infected, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. You know what I mean? But that's how the game has changed. But really, none of that is really the conversation we're supposed to have that night. The conversation we're supposed to have that night is what is the point of PlayStation putting their games a year or 2 or 3 after release date, right? It's fun. I mean, look, if you fund a game and then you get 100% return on it, that's just the way it's supposed to be because that's your game, right? First party game, you get 100% back, which sounds amazing until you realize just the existence of your own studio is a headache. Just the existence of it, just the fact that that building exists with motherfuckers in it. Lights gotta stay on, waters keep running. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers got their salaries, their benefits, their medical, right? And then they got to churn out games. It's a whole process. It's just money spent daily just to have first party games. Just for it to exist, you have to have studios on top of studios on top of studios. And whether a game has released or not yet, you still got to keep those studios afloat, just accommodating them, just facilitating them. That's why when Microsoft bought all those publishers, the Thrash was like, "Oh, this shit's about to be this shit's about to be crazy because all those personnels, all those people you gotta look over, you gotta worry about all their pay, you gotta worry about all their benefits, you gotta make sure they do their job. Like you have the right management in place. You know how much infrastructure you need as a business to keep all this shit flowing? Imagine not having to do any of that. Imagine just say, hey, I'm gonna build my console, right? It's a dope ass console too. I'm barely gonna make any first party games. Barely. Just buy third party, right? Buy a whole lot of third party and subscribe to my shit. PlayStation wish they could say that. They wish they can go back to PS3 era because that's what it is. That's exactly how the business is made back in PS2 era. Is, I make a console, third party's gonna put all kinds of crazy ass games on it. Buy that bitch. And plus, there's no competition around, so Devil May Cry is exclusive to my shit. You know what I'm saying? It's exclusive to my shit. And 360 kind of fucked it up because they made all those exclusives no longer exclusives because now there's another platform that can handle those games. The only reason why Devil May Cry was on, PlayStation and not Nintendo is because a Nintendo couldn't run it at the time. And that's what it really is. It just couldn't run it. So, you know what I mean? So with that in mind, right now what we're talking about is why would PlayStation do that? Why would they put a game that's 2, 3 years old into PC, right? Into Steam instead of just holding it, right? Because truthfully, you know, my bias, well, not, I don't even know if it's my bias, but how I feel about it is I disagree with that move. I don't think it's a good idea to put PlayStation games on PC at all, whether it's day and date, which is a definite no, but even after 2, 3 years of release, I still say it's not cool. I don't think that's the best route because like I said, it's not about the profit that you make off a first party game. It's about leverage, it's about power. You know what I'm saying? And to have your game in another platform, whether you're competing or not, because technically PC is not competition, but what they are is a whole conflict of interest, the way depending on the way you move. You know what I mean? And let me explain that because I don't think I was able to explain my point very well. Right? So Xbox and PlayStation, that's competition. Okay, you're in the same type of space. You have the same type of customer base. You just gotta, you know, you just gotta be able to give the customer base a reason why you should buy my shit over their shit, right? But when it comes to PC is a different kind of monster. You know what I mean? I made the example of like Gucci and Versace. Fucking they are in competition, right? You fuck with Gucci, you fuck with Versace, right? Me, neither of them. Armani, you know what I'm saying? That's what I fuck with, right? But Gucci versus Versace, that's competition. A swap meet isn't. But if Gucci put all their brand names like brand new shit day one, you know what I'm saying? Day one, day and date at a swap meet at a flea market, you think that's gonna hurt Gucci's business at all? Of course it would. Motherfucker could just go to the swap meet. It's brand new. It's just the same exact thing as if you go to the Gucci store. You know what I'm saying? Or ordering from actual Gucci. But here I could buy at a swap meet. Sometimes it's a little bit less than the store itself. Actually, all the time. It's practically like, you know what I'm saying? That's hurting it. But putting it on PC, what it does is it takes a lot of power away from the name of PlayStation. That's what I mean. That's why I don't think it's a good idea. I think the mystique of having your own exclusive to where it doesn't matter if it's 2024 or 2054. If you want one of these motherfuckers, you better have a PlayStation to play it. Something about that will hold true years from now. When you put a game on another platform, even if it's not a competing platform, it still degrades the value of that game. But when I say value, I don't mean the value of the game in dollar cents. All right? Not in dollar cents. Because in dollar cents, that doesn't make sense. Because how much money do you make off of your first party games 3, 4 years after it released? You gotta think about this, right? Say a PlayStation first party game sell 20 million copies, which isn't out of the norm. They do that all the time. 20 million copies. Out of that 20 million copies, how many of that was sold at the front end and how many of that was sold after the front end? And when I say the front end, I'm talking about like a year, the first year or so. First 2 years of the game being out. Because most of the profit is in the beginning. It's in the first or second year. You know what I mean? It's kind of like It's kind of like movies. Like most of the money they make for movies, that's why they count them, is at box office, first couple of weeks. What do you mean? I mean the IP. No, 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 not the IP, because the IP is the intellectual property. I'm talking about the game itself. Okay, the game itself. Say Ghost of Tsushima, the game Ghost of Tsushima, right? Do you make the most money off of Ghost of Tsushima in the first year? First year or first 2 years, or do you make the most money out of Ghost of Tsushima the years afterwards? Of course, in the first 2 years, right? That's when they sell at the highest price. Ghost when it first came out was on PlayStation 4, so it was $60, right? It came out at $60, and the bulk of buyers buy them at that time as well in the first year or two, right? But once it hit the third year, the second year or the third year, price start dropping, right? A lot of times, price start dropping in the first year. If the game isn't hitting, it start dropping the first year. So by the time it gets to like the third year, how much money is left that you would make off? You would still make 100% off of the game that you sell, but at that point, you're selling at like $50, 40 something bucks. You know what I mean? But it goes beyond that, and this is something you would discuss in a boardroom, in a business boardroom, right? And that's why it's so hard to convey to motherfuckers who are too emotional to get it. Motherfuckers who don't want to really hear what you gotta say, motherfuckers that needs to, you know what I mean, push their narratives, and they're only hearing you just so they could say what they stop talking just so they could wait for their turn to say what they want to say, not so much listen to what the fuck you're actually trying to tell them. You know what I mean? 3 years into a game, first party or third party, besides from Nintendo, because like I said, besides from contemporary Nintendo, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could do that. I don't know. I don't even know how Nintendo could do it, but I'm very impressed that they could. They bout their business and they hold true to it. It's impressive. But with the traditionally, when it comes to Xbox or PlayStation or traditional console in that manner, because Nintendo is not traditional, not anymore. It's not. It hasn't been since the Wii, the original Wii. Um, but with these games, man, they drop in price, third party or first party. After a few years, they drop. But you still, of course, whatever price you sell it at, it's your IP, so you still get 100% of wherever that amount is. Now, here's what I'm saying about the situation, okay? The way I see it right now is Sony, of course, would have this information and we don't. Sony would know, okay, how do our first party games sell year over year over year, generation over generation? Because they have enough info to see this now, right? They could see, okay, you know, all of our first party games, or the majority of our first party games, some, there's some outliers, but majority of our games, the first 2 years where we make the bulk of our money, and then it simmers down, and there's ticks here and there, but nothing crazy, right? Now, at that point in the game is crucial to me, because I think that's where the main question is. I think Sick kind of alluded to it, and I was trying to get to it, but I never could. So Sick was saying, well, uh, is it worth that? I'm like, exactly. Is it? Is it worth that amount? For instance, all right, say PlayStation, right? PlayStation 4. I keep harping on PlayStation 4 because PlayStation 5 is not over. It's hard to talk about a generation when the generation is still ongoing. But we can look. What's up, Jeff? We can look at PS4 because PS4 is done. It's out the way. We could look back on the whole generation. It's easier to talk about a PS4 than PS5. PS5 is still an ongoing generation, right? But look at the PS4, right? If they look at the PS4 and they say, all right, so Horizon, Ghost, God of War, all these games, they come out, they sell crazy in the first 3 months, it simmers down, it still does well in the first year in total, but in the second year it drops a lot, and then by the third year it drops a whole lot. So that's usually when we discount the game, or usually actually it discounts. It's quicker than that. It's like in the second year or so. But that also, has an uptick on the, the amount, the units that sold, but not so much revenue doesn't change too much because, of course, it's, got cheaper. But after that, you're like, God damn, bro, I'm getting a call right now from a customer in California because they don't realize that it's 11 o'clock for me and it's 8 o'clock for them. This is rare. I usually answer these, but I'm actually busy right now. Ain't that a bitch? I'm not answering a work call that could lead to money because I would rather talk shit about video games right now. And that's some wild shit. But anyways, um, where the fuck was I at? Oh yeah, the whole point of it was, why is Sony putting it on there, and is it worth it, right? So the thing with me is, like I said earlier, I don't enjoy speaking about business in an anecdotal type of sense. You know what I mean? Anecdotal type shit doesn't really help the conversation at all. It's good to like joke around with, but it's not when it comes to actual talking about business and how money is moved and shit like that. Anecdotal shit doesn't really do much. You telling me, hey, I know a guy that said he buy a PS4 because he played first party on it and that's it. But if he has the chance to steal it on PC, he would because he didn't really want to buy those games in the first place. I'm like, then why the fuck did he get a PS4 in the first place if he didn't want to buy those games? What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's anecdotal shit. There's no value in anecdotal shit. The only value you can have is Geico. Garbage in, garbage out. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me no garbage. I don't need it. Just give me the actual information I can look at. All right? How many people buy PlayStations in the first year? How many in the second year? How many in the third year? How many people buy first party games day and date? When does it drop off? When does it drop off? And what is the drop off? You know what I mean? All that is what I want to know. Because I look at it from a fucking businessman point of view. I don't look at it from some anecdotal fucking knee slap type of shit. Like, what the fuck is it for? What is that? What value does that bring to when you were talking about business and how you would move? The way I see it is, the only question that needs to be asked is, do you think the amount of money that we make from a dude, let's say PlayStation 4 been out 2, 3 years already, and he just couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have the money for it. And 3, 4 years in, he finally got the money. He got right, bought a PS4 new, right? Because the motherfucker might just bought it used, and if he bought it used, you ain't make no money off of that sale, right? Let's say he bought it new, right? And then he started buying all of your first party games. Whether he buy third party games or not, that's a whole separate conversation. But let's just stick to first party right now, right? Let's say 3, 4 years into the generation, and then the motherfucker bought the PlayStation, and then he bought all the games that you had 3, 4 years ago that came out, and now it's much cheaper. Now it's like 40 something bucks, 40 something, 50 something bucks. It's not original price anymore, right? Do you think that customer, along with all the other types of customers who, for whatever reason, never bought a PlayStation 4 until 4 or 5 years deep into the game, right? And then they bought it. Now, there's different types of motherfuckers. There's this motherfucker who just doesn't want a PlayStation. They got the money. You know what I'm saying? They got the money. Don't get me wrong. They just never bought a PlayStation. They just don't see anything they want to play on it. It just takes that one right game, and they was like, all right, I gotta cop this game for this game type of deal, right? Or motherfucker just doesn't have the money because life's hard out here. It is what it is, right? And he just never had the money. He needed to wait for years to get it, and he finally got it. There's multiple reasons why people buy a console late into the game. Some people prefer it. Some people's like, hey, I don't want to buy everything brand new, yada yada yada. The game will be good 3, 4 years later, right? I'll just give a little bit of time, and once I buy it, man, things are cheaper, and I got a crazy collection to fuck with, right? So there's multiple reasons why people buy consoles later in the generation than people who buy it in the beginning. Me, I gotta have it in the beginning because the fuck else am I do? You know what I'm saying? Need that, right? But there's multiple reasons. So what Sony is asking, either they already know, or they're asking that question right now, is that money that we're getting from those people from first party games less or more than if we could just say, hey, after 3, 4 years, they'll be on PC. Buy it on PC. Buy it on PC. That's it. That's really my whole argument about it. It's at this point in time, and you're like, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, I mean, they're doing it, aren't they? It's on PC right now. Like games are coming to PC a year, 2 year, 3 year after release, right? Some games do, some don't. Even Bloodborne to this day still isn't there. You know what I mean? Like there's still a lot of first party games that's not there, but they're all dripping, right? So the question is, the amount of money that they made off of that, whatever, 1, 2 million that they sell their first party shit on PC, is that amount worth, right? Money value wise, is it worth that comparatively to someone who would buy a PlayStation later in the game, right? And buy those games, or someone who already has a PlayStation and just never bought that game and buy it later, right? The weighing between that, is it worth that? Is it, you know what I mean? As far as money value is concerned, me, I don't know, if it's more or less. What I will say is, like I said earlier, in my mind, I don't think it's worth it as just in the value of the game, not in money terms, but in the mystique of having a games that can only be played on your platform, the machine that you built. You know what I mean? The mystique of that, the value of that, I think outweigh the money amount. And the reason why originally I said the amount of money they make off of first party software is minimal, negligence, is nothing, right? Comparatively, as a console business itself, the amount of money you actually make from first party software sales isn't anything worth writing home about. I'm not saying it's not profitable, it is, but it's not worth much compared to the other streams of revenue you're getting from your console. You feel me? So at that point in the game, if a game is sitting still, right, stagnant, you still spent all those money all those years ago to develop it, to market it, to all those money still has been spent years ago. But now 3, 4 years down the line, this motherfucker is just sitting there in your library. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. You know what I mean? Sometimes there'll be a random motherfucker that buy it off the PS store, right? Randomly there'll be a motherfucker that buy it, but it's just sitting there. It's at that point it's no longer a commodity. It's no longer a asset. It just sits there. It's not making you no money. But if you throw it on PC 3, 4, like 2, 3 years after release date, you'll make a little penny. You know what I mean? But all of it is petty, is what I'm saying. When it comes to money value wise, all of it is pretty petty because the amount of money that's in first party sales is all around total isn't really that much to begin with. That's not the bulk of the money you make off of your console. Back in the day, it was just third party shit, right? Third party royalties. But when the digital age hit, the true digital age hit, and then it became microtransactions, and then now it's service, and they want all of that. That's where all their money come from third party like transactions, right? Not third party third party what's the word? Damn, I just lost the word for it. Uh, Not commission. What the fuck? Just getting money off a third party, right? Getting money off a third party, um, microtransactions and fucking subscriptions. That's where all their money comes from. The amount of money they actually get from fucking console and software, like first party software sales, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. It's nothing. What's a couple hundred million to billions? Billions upon billions. Boy, like, you know what I'm saying? What are you thinking? And that's what I mean. It's all petty. The amount of money you make, whether you put it on PC or not, or keep it on PlayStation, regardless, whichever route you do, that amount of money itself is nothing. 2 years in after the IP's release, compared to all the other types of revenue you get, it's nothing. I mean, if you include day one amount, all of it together, and you look at the profit that PlayStation make, and you look at the amount of money that software, first party software sales amounts to, you'd be like, that ain't shit. I mean, when we say it, because we broke motherfuckers, when we hear hundreds of millions, we're like, damn, what's that to a multi-billion dollar business? That's a couple hundred million to billions, bro. Like, what are we? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the mindset I need y'all to think. If we're talking business, especially a business that big, right? I'm not saying that I know everything about business and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you want to talk about it, be clear about it. No anecdotal shit. Actual hard evidence, actual information. That's what's valuable. That's what matters. You know what I mean? None of this. I know a guy that he said this shit. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying. Hey, but can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all think the PS5 is real? The PS5 Pro is real? Because here's my thought, right? I'm done with the whole console business nonsense now, because that just seems like so obvious. I don't know why motherfuckers got their panties in a bunch. I'm like, motherfucker. That's why I was like, bro, Xbots, right? I hate using these terminologies too. I usually don't call motherfuckers Xbots and ponies, but just to just to entertain it, Xbots and ponies, y'all really are just alike. Y'all aren't capable of just rationally talking things through. Y'all just get so amped up on whatever, and you have to feel like you gotta defend shit. I'm like, bro, no one ever said, you know what I'm saying? What's up outside of like, no one ever said this shit. No one ever says it's not profitable. That's stupid. I follow these charts. I know exactly what they make and what they don't make too. Like, the fuck are y'all talking about? But anyways, so PS5 Pro, man, I currently all we hear is quote unquote leaks and rumors. And like, I'm not even sure if it's real yet, right? Do I think it's real? It's probably real. I'm not gonna hold you. It's probably real. It's just all I have so far is just anecdotal shit for the PS5. There's no real like Sony has never say one time for real or not. Like PS5 Pro is happening. Here are the true specs and all this good shit, right? And I'm asking that because it's 2024. PlayStation 5 has been out for 4 years. We are currently 4 years into this motherfucker, right? And so if the PS5 Pro come out, then like this year, right? Then I would presume that this generation is 8 years long, right? 4 years, generation refresh, you know what I mean? Another 4 years, bam, generation's over, right? But if they don't show it within the next couple months, then it's not going to come out this year. Then it's going to come out next year, which means it'll be 5 years into the generation. Would that make the generation 10 years long? Because are they going to cut it off at 9? Like, what are we going to sell the PlayStation 5 Pro and have it out in the wild for only about 4 years? Or even less than that, 3 years? And still be at 8 years worth, like 7, 8 years worth of, you know what I'm saying, PS5 generation? Or will this generation truly be 10 years long? And tell you the truth, man, I don't mind it. I don't mind if this generation is 10 years long. If PS5 is real, if they don't show the PS5 until next summer, because if it comes out this year, they gotta show it sometime this summer. May's here in like a day or two. So I mean, and summer is like a month away from that. June hits like right after that. You know what I mean? And I can't wait for June, man. That's when my busy season slows down. So I'm like, I can't wait for that shit. I'm working my ass off. But it needs to be, you know, officially talked about here very soon, within another month or two, right? And it's like, is it if it's real, then it should happen sometime within the next 2, 3 months, so that they can roll it out for this holiday season, right? And if they do that, that would be 8 years worth of this generation, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with 10 if the PS5 Pro is real. I still don't even think the traditional PS5, the one that we still got, the big boy, is out of like. I still think it got plenty of juice left. I don't think most motherfuckers utilize it like it should be. But new hardware, new hardware. I'll cop it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll cop it if it comes out, if it's real. Like, but all I'm saying is, I don't think it's necessary. I think the current PS5 is strong enough if you're willing to put in the effort to make it. You know what I'm saying? Horizon Forbidden West to this day blows a motherfucker's mind. Like, that shit was 4K 60, ray traced, open world. like, it's nuts. You telling me that y'all, the rest of y'all, can't do any of that? You know what I'm saying? Any of it? Get even close to that? Are you serious? You feel me? Come on, man. I don't think it's tapped out, man. But at the end of the day, if a PS5 Pro makes it easier for these motherfuckers to bring shit to me at a decent resolution and a decent frame rate, I'm good with that. I'm all for that, man. No, I don't think so, Jeff. I don't think they're gonna do another console. They never said anything about a console. What what Sarah Bond said was, she wanted she said innovative tech hardware. She never said console. And I pay attention to these type of things. I have to, being doing what I do. When I hear people say something, is not what they said, it's what they mean. And I have to like constantly think about what do they actually mean. Because when you deal with someone and you're trying to get them to buy some shit that costs 30 something odd $1,000, you know what I'm saying? You try to pay attention to everything they say to see what they really mean by what they say. Because a lot of time what we say is not what we mean. It's two very different things, and it's my job to figure that out. You know what I mean? So when Sarah Bond said that shit, I was like, she never said console, and because she went out of her way to word things the way she worded, I know for sure that it's not going to be a console. Because if it was a console, you would just say it. You would say we're working on our next generation console. You wouldn't need to say hardware and innovative and all this other shit. You know what I mean? It's very unnecessary. But PS5 Pro, I'm with it as long as it's real. I don't fucking know if it's real or not. I'm pretty sure it is. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sure it is real. That it's coming. But as far as specs and expectations and all that stuff, I don't have any because I don't know what to expect. I will say that PlayStation hasn't fucked me up yet, so I'm a cop it when it comes out. And speaking of frames and resolution, man, I've been playing Rise. Rise is my shit, man. I think Rise of the Ronin is a gamer's game. If you don't understand Rise of the Ronin, it's just because you just haven't gotten used to the mechanics and understand the mechanics of it all. It's a very deep game. If you don't play Team Ninja games, recent Team Ninja games, not Ninja Gaiden, right? But recent Ninja games like Neo and Wulong and all that kind of stuff, they have so many intricate parts to their games. You know what I mean? You got the parry mechanics. You have weapon change mechanics. You have stance change mechanic for the weapon. You got the what is it? I call it the refresh, but it's not really refresh. It's like when you tap R1 after hits, like after combos and during combos and shit, you tap R1 to replenish your ki or whatever the fuck, your stamina, but they call it chi, right? Like, all of that is you're required to be decently good at a few of those things for the combat to click. If you're not if you're not decently connected with those type of with your brain adjusted to think about combat in that way, the game seemed ridiculous, clunky, and unsatisfying to play because you're not getting the like the general grasp of the gameplay. It's not played like a FromSoft game at all, at all. It doesn't play like Ghost of Tsushima at all, at all. It doesn't play like Sekiro at all, at all. As a matter of fact, I know Sekiro is a more challenging game, but I will say the combat y'all think Sekiro is, Rise of Ronin really is. You know what I mean? It's just not as difficult. You know, the parry repetitiveness isn't required as much compared to Rise. Rise has a lower bar for as far as if you need to parry or not. Me, the way I play this game is I don't even know what a block button is. All I do is dodge and parry. That's all I do. I don't even click the block button at all. I don't even hold it down. I don't even touch it. I put in a few hours on Stella Yams already, man. Stella Yams is one of those games too, man. The game is phenomenal, and y'all gonna think I'm kind of a prude for saying this shit, but look, man, be real with y'all. I'm a heterosexual motherfucker myself, but y'all make shit too weird. Not y'all specifically in the chat, but y'all motherfuckers make shit too weird. Like, yeah, Eve is a bad bitch, but chill, chill, calm the fuck down. Like, it's like y'all make me uncomfortable to talk about the game, which is crazy. I never had ask Lionel. I never had problems talking about titties. I don't. It's just like even even to now, right? Like when I think about the game, I still don't even think about the way Eve look or any of that shit. I just think about, man, the combat nice, story's crazy. It's fucked up. Tachi better not be dead, man. This is ridiculous. I know she looked dead as fuck, but she better not be dead. I'd be so mad. I actually kind of like Tachi more than Eve. The way they did Tachi, the way she looked and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tachi looks dope as hell, man, compared to Eve. I guess I'm more of a big sister type, little sister type. You feel me? Yeah, but yeah, man, I don't get it. I get so weirded out because I'm like, look, man, I appreciate the aesthetics of Stellar Blades as well, but y'all make it y'all do too much. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do too much. Y'all make me uncomfortable when it comes to that. You're like, damn, bro, like chill. With this whole censorship thing, you know what I can't wrap my head around is you say that. You say censorship, but in my mind, censorship, you know what I'm saying, is when it's across the board. You feel me? You throw on a fucking Muslim hijab on this bitch, like, and cover her ass up, literally cover her ass up. You know what I mean? But it's like a selected group of, a selected amount of outfits. You now, instead of seeing 50% of the titty, you are now only able to see 30% of the titty. And that's censorship to you? No, she has outfits that are even crazier than the one you're like complaining about. What is the problem? Like, if it's censorship on a level where, like Devil May Cry, right? I made that same example. In Devil May Cry on PlayStation 4, right? When you play it, there's certain sections where Lady and Trish were like whole ass naked, right? And they have these lights, these lens flare that blocked it. Now that truly is censorship because it never should have been there, right? And me, it's what's up, Cyber Dragon? It's I appreciate the aesthetics, but if it's not there, it's not there. I play Devil May Cry to make what I'm saying, Dante do jumps and shoot his guns and shit. I'm not you know what I'm saying? I wasn't coming in like I better get to see ladies' ass in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, better see ladies' whole ass in this motherfucker. Otherwise, I'm not playing it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't come into it for that. Just like how Stellar Blade, I didn't come into Stellar Blade because the way Eve look. I do appreciate it though. I ain't gonna hold you. Right? I'm not gonna hold you. I do appreciate the way Eve looks, but I am not here because of it. I'm here because that gameplay is fire. The game, it looks good. The lore is already fire. I don't even know much about the lore. It just seems like, there's a lot more deeper under the surface than what we know. You know what I mean? Because you mean to tell me all your job is to kill these motherfuckers? Like, it just, like, usually when story are easy and simple at the surface like that, it usually gets crazy later. You know what I mean? Like Tales of Arise, yeah. Like, I'm so glad Stone and Thrash talked me into playing Tales of Arise and shit, because that ending is wild. You know what I'm saying? That last, like, the last couple hours, you were like, wait, what? What? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. But yeah, bro, like, I don't get it. Like, every day you play Sandland, bet. Play Sandland. All right. Well, as soon as I get all this other bullshit out of the way, I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze it in before Wukong comes out. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to approach the conversation. I'm like, all right, I guess that's a whole issue for you. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's a whole issue for you, that you only see 30% of the titty now. But it's like, I, you know what I mean? How do I even begin to approach the conversation about censorship when, this one outfit, this one bunny outfit, right, with her whole ass still out. Her whole ass is still out. It's just now you can't see her whole titty no more. You can only see, like, what I'm saying, 30% of it. And that's an issue. But, the next outfit is a whole bikini, bro, that jiggles. Like, you know what I'm saying? With jiggle physics and everything, physics on top of physics. So you know what I mean? Like, if they threw a sweater on her ass, on the bikini version, I'm like, I agree. This censorship's wild. But bruh, like, you know what I'm saying? She's still in a whole bikini, like, fighting monsters and shit in a whole bikini, like, with heels on, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm supposed to sit here like, yeah, right, right, censorship bad, and that's why we're fighting against it, right? Right, fellas, we're fighting against censorship. That's nothing to the fact that it has to do with just me wanting to see titties. And it's like, they reduced gore. I'm like, nah, son. Nah. Bitch was getting cut open, like, you know what I'm saying, visibly, arms cut off, getting swords, like, go through them and shit. Nah, get the fuck out of here with that shit, right? I don't believe that for a second. But finally, though, what the fuck is an Xbox? It's been over, dog. It's only over for y'all recently, but it was over for me for like 2 generations already. I haven't, like, people think I talk shit about Xbox because I hate it. I don't hate it. I talk shit about it because I wish it could do better. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate corporate entities. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they are, is a corporate entity that exists. I either enjoy their products or I don't. If I don't enjoy your products, I'll talk shit about it. That's just what it is. But Xbox has been over it all. I don't even know why there's random dudes that still talking like it's still a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's over. Go home, bro. Like, the fight is over. Go home. There's nothing left. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I can't even, like, I can't even wrap my head around that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't. My problem with this type of shit is, right, and this might be a little bit too political, but I hate this shit because when we really need to talk about censorship, it's very hard, because motherfuckers talk about censorship when it comes to this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when there is a true issue with censorship, when we were like, hey, no, that's not cool. The artist want the game to be this way. Y'all literally censoring his art, right? That becomes an issue. And then, we all should speak on it. But no. You know what I'm saying? But no, we don't get to, because once that moment happened, they were like, "Oh, you just like one of them other goofy ass little titty needing ass motherfuckers, right?" Like you're like, "No, no, I'm not. It's not even like that, bro. Like seriously, these motherfuckers really fucking up the game with censorship." They're like, "Nah, motherfucker." Like you know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen. It's already happening. It's already happening right now. Everything you say is dismissed because it's one of those this you or you fuck with these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And it never gets anywhere. I don't appreciate that for a second. But what I'm saying, man, is Xbox, dude. Like I don't really talk about Xbox like that. I mainly talk about PlayStation because what is there to talk about when it comes to Xbox? Like what is there to talk about, right? I haven't bought none of their games on the PlayStation either. If I wanted it, I would have had an Xbox many, many moons ago. There's just no reason. I mean, but it's a game about Nazis. Why would they have Nazi symbols? I don't know, man. All right, I'm about to hop off, but here's what I will say. I think the most detrimental thing to gaming culture, gaming and gaming culture in general nowadays, is these motherfuckers that I despise. These grifter ass, no game playing for real, but have an opinion ass motherfuckers, right? I think that's actually the most detrimental shit to just the hobby of gaming, to the gaming industry in general. It's just that shit. Because, it doesn't require anything to have a hot take. You could have a stupid ass take, you know what I'm saying? And just have a platform and you can speak about it. And all of a sudden now, you can sway narratives and you don't even play games. You know what I'm saying? Y'all play games like like what is it, furry Hitler 2 and shit, right? You want to talk about games like actual games that mother play, like Liza P and all this other shit. You know what I mean? I think that's the most detrimental shit to gaming right now in our modern day, right? Because think about this shit. Do we even talk about the games anymore the way they're supposed to be talked about? Because game developers can't even just develop a game just to be enjoyable nowadays, because games can't just be an enjoyable experience. A game has to make a random bitch feel good about herself, right? Like a random bitch gotta feel good about herself playing this game, otherwise the game failed. The game has to like match up with all your political views, otherwise the game failed. You know what I'm saying? The game has to make you feel good about yourself. Otherwise, it failed. You know what I'm saying? Like modern day games can't just be something you just pick up and see what it's about, right? And enjoy your experience with it, because you, the person, you don't like yourself enough, and it bleeds into all of your entertainment. You know what I'm saying? You can't be entertained. You're too miserable to entertain. You find things to be upset about. And you'll never be like, you can never enjoy some shit that way. How can you enjoy some shit if you're miserable? You can't. If you don't like you, ain't no game gonna make you like you. And because of that, all these games suck. That's why Stella Blade, like so many motherfuckers have a problem with Stella Blade, right? It's either she's too attractive or she's, you know, or she's censored, right? It's either you need to see some titties or I don't feel good about her, me because she's pretty. You feel me? I'm always talking about like y'all ever seen what real women look like? Yeah, I'm from Asia. They look like Eve. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? The fuck do you think they look like? Do you think like thin Asian women don't exist or some shit. Like, what the fuck is the matter with y'all? Yeah, a dime a dozen in Asia. Are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. And no matter how ugly a character is, no matter how good looking a character is, it's self esteem, bitch. It's esteem of your motherfucking self. Ain't shit's gonna change. The game would not be better for you if the main character is unattractive. I don't even know why like y'all have that type of mentality. I never thought about games that way. The ID at Xbox show. No, I did. There was a show. There was an Xbox show. What the fuck's an Xbox? I didn't even know there was a whole show, Jeff. I had no idea there was a whole fucking Xbox show. This whole time I was out here. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, I wasn't really gonna do this. The only reason why I did it is because Puerto Rock clipped me out of context. And I'm sitting here like that was the only thing that actually got me kind of heated. I'm like, really, Puerto Rock, did you just clip me out of context? I thought only PC cucks and Xbots do that type of shit. Not you, not the Pony General. Not the Pony General. Like, what the fuck is you doing? And I had to like, I was like, nah, bro, you ain't just gonna call me dumb for and clip me out of context like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Showing me what Miles Morales made. What is that gonna do? What's that gonna do? You didn't know the purpose of the conversation in the first place. Don't feel bad if you don't. The motherfucker I was talking to don't even understand the concept of the conversation. Yeah, had no idea what I was trying to say. I was super mad. Like, just, what do you mean it don't profit? Like, motherfucker, no one ever said anything about it not profiting. It's just in the grand scheme of console business, first party sales is unimportant comparatively to other avenue of sales. The avenue of profit is nothing. It's not even worth mentioning. You know what I mean? Compared to microtransactions, that shit. You know what I'm saying? Stellar Blade is going. It's so unfortunate that Stellar Blade gets treated the way it's treated because of the type of game it is. Like, yes, it's the character is very sexualized, but it's a whole game behind her fat ass. Like, this, you know what I'm saying? There's mechanics, there's stories, there's lore, there's all kinds of shit behind this big booty. If y'all can just get past that shit, and we could discuss this game like actual gamers instead of a bunch of what's the word for it nowadays? What do y'all call them? What do these motherfuckers say? Gooners? When I was a kid, a goon was not one you want to fuck with, but I guess gooners nowadays are, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to say about it. Like, I'm not, I guess. One of Well, it's not about being clear, Lionel. It's like don't put none of your don't put none of your emotions into it. We speak business. We speak about what is factual, what is not factual. You feel me? What is real? What isn't real? Don't hit me with no anecdotal shit. I don't care for it. You know what I mean? The way I'm built, I'm not able to even entertain it because I don't entertain nonsense. Like, the only time I entertain nonsense is when I get paid to do it. It's when I entertain nonsense. Otherwise, I'm not doing it on my free time. No, don't give me no anecdotal shit. I know what I know that the shit that you're trying to say is some anecdotal shit. That's why I ain't trying to hear it. You telling me about what another guy say doesn't really do much. You know what will impress me? Put a graph in front of me and tell me that those numbers are 100% accurate. Then we move on those numbers. That was no. Oh shit. But yeah, man, that's all I was trying to say. I mean, I'm looking out for the PS5 Pro if it's real. From as far as I know, it's probably is. But if it is and it comes out this year, that means this generation is 8 years long, which is about right. So I'm expecting it to come out this year. But if it comes out next year, it's 10 years. which is still fine. I'm still good with 10 years. I don't think they've gotten enough out of the OG PS5, let alone the PS5 Pro. So I'm good with it. I mean, this generation's it's a bit odd because currently I'm still waiting on first party games. While we talking all this shit about profit from first party games, I'm still waiting on PlayStation first party games. I know. We eating real good this year with all Stellar Blade and Wukong and Rise and all this good shit. But the fuck's y'all first party doing, man? Somebody, anybody, anybody, please, could somebody tell me what Sony Santa Monica is doing? What Ben is doing? What fucking Sucker Punch? Like all these mother, what are they doing right now, bro? Like Gorilla. No, never mind. Not Insomniac. Y'all can chill. I'm directing this shit towards all of Sony first party studios except Insomniac. Y'all can chill. Y'all could go drink some shit out of a coconut for now. Like this doesn't pertain to y'all, but the rest of you motherfuckers, where y'all at, man? Naughty Dog, where the fuck are y'all at, bro? Show me something. I'm still waiting. I've been on this tangent for like 2 years. Like, what the fuck is going on, Sony? Show me some shit. Y'all want to talk about how profitable first party is for PlayStation? How profitable are they for this year and last year, huh? Not a damn thing. That's what. My bad. They did do the remaster of The Last of Us One and The Last of Us Two. Fucking, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, what are we talking about? Like, as far as profit so far for PS5, what kind of type of money y'all think we fucking with right now when it comes to like PS5 as the console so far 4 years in, huh? How much money you think they made off of first party sales, first party software sales, and third party sales, huh? What do you think made? You think it actually made any numbers uh, towards you going, oh, but it's so profitable? Why are you downplaying first party software sales? I ain't downplayed it. I called it exactly what it is. I never said that they didn't make money. They do. It's just, unsubstantial compared to all the other avenues they make money off of. They're waiting to show a PS5 version again. But see, that's what I was saying, Thrash. I mean, it should be, here within the next month or so. It should be, summer is right around the corner. Another month left. Summer's here. And we own, like, you know what I mean? Like, summer's here. Like, that's when you present the PS5. And if you do present the PS5 Pro this summer, that means you're showing all kinds of crazy shit, all kinds of games, right? But that's if you show it this summer. If you don't, then it's next summer, and it's already 5 years deep into the gen, and midway through, so 5 more years, 10 total. I'm thinking it's gonna be that long, actually. To be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think we're gonna see PlayStation 5 this year. I think we're gonna see it next year, and we're gonna see 10 years worth of this generation, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all. It's 10 years. I mean, I haven't really seen a goddamn thing from first party for real yet. And there's a couple, but most of them at the early part of the generation was cross-gen shit. We had a couple of true PlayStation 5 games, but we really haven't had like not the onslaught we had from PS4. You know what I mean? When Horizon dropped, and then God of War dropped, and then Spider-Man dropped, and you know what I'm saying? It was like back to back to back to back. The shit was crazy. And they gotta show something this year. That shit's crazy, bro. That would be 2 years straight, almost three, where we don't really know what the fuck first party is doing. That's way too long. See, like me, I don't look at first party like they are profitable in a sense where money value matters. No, but first party, they are very important. Their value is much more important than just the money value. You know what I mean? way more. And in order for you to maintain that, motherfucker, I'm PlayStation, suck a dick. You need to keep that. You need to keep that ability to provide, first party games. You are known for that now. You have to continue that trend. You wish you can go back to the PS2 era, but you did what you did in the PS3 era. The PS4 era made you what you are today. So now you are on this trajectory. You have to continue to fucking, what I'm saying? You have to continue to provide me with dope ass first party. And I just enjoy them, but I know very well the business behind them is not great. I know deep down PlayStation wish they could just go back to the PS2 era where they don't have to have a bunch of studios. And not only do they have a bunch of studios, those studios are held to the most fucking highest fucking level of scrutiny when their games come out. When the PlayStation game come out, the scrutiny for that motherfucker is like diamond fucking experts looking at diamonds with fucking super duper magnifying glass. It's like, oh, there's an imperfection right here. You know what I'm saying? There's an imperfection right here, right at the tip of the diamond. Yeah, this ain't worth shit. Like, you know what I mean? That's how motherfuckers get when a first party PlayStation game drop. Not even first party nowadays. It's just exclusive PlayStation. If a game is exclusive on PlayStation, you know what I'm saying? That's why Rise of the Ronin is extremely ugly, boring, and basic. You know what I'm saying? When it's literally the most advanced form of fucking sword combat ever put into a game. You know what I mean? I mean, Nintendo, the way Nintendo did it, Thrash, was they was able to make their first party so valuable that they could withstand the test of time. You know what I mean? Xbox brand isn't strong enough to do something like that. Brand isn't. Their brand was weaseled into the mainstream. It wasn't even truly what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I mean, in order for Xbox to have continue doing what they do, they really had to actually put in moves and made bangers because that's the only thing realistically that's different between an Xbox and a PlayStation the last two generations. I mean, console war shit aside, like realistically, an Xbox Series X is not completely a trash console by any means. I'm sure you can get decent amount of games to run well on it. It's just there ain't no games. As in, Xbox never provided a reason for you to buy an Xbox compared to a PlayStation. You know what I mean? There's just no games that's worth that. I mean, they got games. It's just they trash. How do I know they trash? They're on PlayStation right now, and Xbox is dying. That's how I know they're trash. Facts though, yeah, Jeff. Team Ninja is that shit when it comes to like sword combat and shit. And just so y'all understand why the parry button is a triangle, it's because the parry button for Ninja Gaiden is a triangle. Did y'all know there is a parry in Ninja Gaiden? But during that era of gaming, parry was never like that serious. I think Sekiro did change the game when it comes to parries in action games. Because ever since Sekiro, you see it a lot. But before that, there is parries, but the parries wasn't really made to be like the dopest shit ever. Nowadays, parries is the dopest shit. To me, parries in action games and fighting games is the dopest shit. The only thing doper than a parry is an air parry. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know when that changed, but back in the day, you know what I'm saying, Ninja Gaiden had parries too. It's just the parry animation and it doesn't pop like the parries nowadays. Parries nowadays is a whole thing, right? But back in the day, parries was a lot more subtle. Like Ninja Gaiden had a parry, it was a triangle button. So nowadays, Rise of Ronin, it's a triangle. Which I mean, I'm used to it because I play a lot of Team Ninja games, but realistically, I prefer the L1 button. Right now, it's just the block, which also Ninja Gaiden that is the block button. I played Team Ninja shit so much that I just understand. I guess I just understand the their mindset, the way the game is set up, all that stuff. And I'm a leave after this, but Rise of Ronin, man. Here's my conflict with it, right? My conflict with it is the game isn't ugly. It's not a great looking game either. It's weird. Like certain parts of it looks really good, like the character models in certain situations and locations and stuff like that. It looks good, but because it's an open world and these motherfuckers never done open world before, some of the open world stuff can be pretty rough looking. I haven't experienced jank. Like the game run well for me in performance mode, right? So I haven't really experienced any jank. But when it comes to like the visuals of it, it doesn't look the best. It's nowhere near ugly either. But like when you're very dynamic, when you're doing a lot of shit in the open world, you can see the open world kind of lose its fidelity, right? The one thing that I noticed the most is like early in the game, right? I was thinking, hey, can I glide down and assassinate a motherfucker? Right? I was standing on one of those towers, right? And I'm just looking down at these two other motherfuckers, and I know I can kill them because you click the R3 button and you could tell, oh, he's an enemy. I could kill him. So I'm just standing there like, okay, let me fly down there, right? Let me just glide down on this kite shit, on this ninja kite, and then assassinate this motherfucker. So I did that, but when I assassinated him, when I land and the blade go through his body, like all the grass around me, all the tall grass turned into shapes. They're no longer grass. They're just fucking polygons. It's just waving in the air, right? I'm like, ooh, that's rough, right? So that kind of stuff is where I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. Ninja Gaiden, like I mean Team Ninja. I don't know if your next game you want to like go full blown like open world and go even harder to make the game look better, you know, a Ghost of Tsushima s looking game, or do I want you to go back to like a traditional either Neo esque type of game, stages or even linear like a Ninja Gaiden type of game. And I don't know which route I would prefer them to go with because open world naturally makes games easier. Like Elden Ring is way easier than practically every other FromSoft game just because it's open world. And Rise of the Ronin the same way. Rise of the Ronin, the mechanics of it is nuts. The game isn't really hard by any means, but it just gives you all the options, all the tools, and you're like, hey, do something cool, right? That's the whole point of Rise of the Ronin is just do something cool, man. We give you all these tools, show me something, right? And my gameplay nice. My shit looked like a whole anime, boy. It looked like Rurouni Kenshin in this bitch. Not Rurouni Kenshin. Even before that Samurai X era, when he was still killing motherfuckers, when he was Batosai in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what my gameplay looked like, right? But that's what concerns me. I'm like, man, do I want y'all to continue and make open world games and certain shit suffer, or do I just want y'all to go back to the shit y'all was really good, like a linear ass game with all the mechanics and everything, and I can learn it as I go forward. You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about that shit. I don't know if it's better if they continue on this path and do like open world because I don't want FromSoft to do that. Please no more open world game FromSoft. I don't think Elden Ring is a good game. Oh no, let me take that back. I think it's a good game, but it's compared to all the other FromSoft games, it's lackluster to me. I'm so sorry. I don't know how motherfuckers can enjoy Elden Ring like on a level as like a Bloodborne or a Sekiro or even Dark Souls. I don't. Those games I think have more character, more personality, just overall just a better product in general compared to Elden Ring. I didn't like the lore of Elden Ring. I didn't like the gameplay of Elden Ring. I didn't like the way Elden Ring looked. You know what I'm saying? Compared to all the other FromSoft game, I like the way Sekiro, Bloodborne, and the Souls game look. I like the way they play too. I'm just not a fan of Elden Ring. And people are like, well, you get good. I'm like, bitch, it's the easiest FromSoft game out there. I beat all these other FromSoft games. I beat one of them live on YouTube. You beat Sekiro live on YouTube. You don't think I can get good to beat Elden Ring, the easiest of them? It's not about difficulty. I think it's just not an entertaining game. It's not. It's very boring in aesthetics, and the lore of it is it's just you know what I mean? But yeah, man. Like I don't know. I don't know how I want their next game to be because open world is cool, but it's just I think I'm getting overworld fatigue again because man, I just want to fight a motherfucker. I don't want to have to like fast travel there and then ride my horse there just to do. You know what I mean? It's just and it doesn't look great because it is in open world format. Like Team Ninja have never really fucked with open world like that. All their games is linear or Neo style where they're just different parts, you know what I'm saying? Different maps that you go to, and then you done finish that map, and you go to the next one. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't know how I feel about it because Rise is fun, it's very fun, but it's just something about open world that after a while I'm like, oh fuck, man, I just want to get to the next mission. I don't want to have to deal with this entire ass map of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's condensed this shit. So I'm getting really tired of open world game. The only time where open world game hits me is when the world is dope. You know what I mean? The world has to be really dope. And I'm not saying the world for Rise is garbage. Rise is just is okay. You know, you would that's I feel like Rise is like a weeb's wet dream, you know what I'm saying? Because you really do live that life if you want to. You can really be that dude, you know what I'm saying? Date geishas and shit, you know what I'm saying? You can really be that dude. But there's just something about it that's missing for me when it comes to the traditional, Team Ninja shit. But yeah, man. Thank y'all for coming through, bro. It's just this is impromptu. I've been saying I've been wanting to do this. It's just I don't know, man. Every time I feel like I have something I want to discuss, want to shit to talk about, I get home and then the PlayStation comes on. And the thing is, Monday through Friday I work, so I barely play video games. Monday through Friday it's like 2-3 hours at most that I can get out of a weekday. So weekend I'm playing a lot. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to just put the game down and talk to y'all. I'm like, fuck y'all, I'm playing a game. Like I'm more built to play games than I am to be a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Like I just I don't have the need to for attention like that. But not that I don't appreciate y'all fucking with me, I do. But it's like I if I speak about something, I really mean it. There's no other what's the word for it, intentions behind it. I mean what I say. I say what I mean, and I don't expect extra shit. I'm just trying to tell you what it really is, what I feel, what I think. You know what I mean? I don't need to make things out to be more than what they are. They're just what they are, and I'm just like, do I want to hop on here and talk shit about whatever this topic is, or do I want to, get better at my parries and shit? So I just never hop on. I'll try, man. I promise. I try to do better. I can't guarantee that you'll see me more frequently, but I'm gonna try because there is a lot of good subjects to discuss. But I a lot of times it's funny because I was supposed to do one yesterday, but the day before that we did roundtable, and I was like, fuck it, only did one already. But I just couldn't sit right with motherfuckers saying what I said was dumb, and then you don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? The fuck you think I was talking about? Like this is nuts. But all right, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all take it easy. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all. I'll see if I can do it next Sunday. I probably will do it next Sunday. But I appreciate y'all coming out. You know what I'm saying? Cyber Dragon, Lionel, Thrash, of course. Jeff. Am I missing anybody? The Floyd, of course. Outsiders. If I'm missing anybody, my bad, man. I'm just playing Stone. I know. I was just playing. But all right, man. Y'all have a good night. I'll try to make it next Sunday if I have topics and shit. You feel me? If I actually have topics worth discussing, because I just can't hop on here and just randomly talk about shit that I have no passion for or have no inkling of talking about. That's why y'all don't see me, because sometimes I do have stuff I want to talk about, but not enough for me to pull out the laptop and click OBS. But all right, man, I'll see y'all next Sunday. Not promising, but